found metallic thread that doesn't suck, and I am so excited to share it with y'all. Hey everyone, I'm Sarah, and like I said, I've found metallic thread. I can barely get the words out. I'm so excited about this. It does not suck. I have used over the years so many metallic threads. I love the idea of just adding some sparkle to your work, right? You're doing some embroidery work and you just want to add a little bit of just sparkle to it, and it's a great, I think, card to have in your deck. But let's face it, most of them, at least up until this point, with the exception of one, all of them that I have found, you can only use small lengths at a time because it'll start to like the individual fibers that have been twisted together start to like split on you, and they're just a mess to work. You've got to pull at the right angle. I have done smock dresses. I've tried to do embroidery work with it. I've tried a number of things, and it's miserable, with the exception of the Madeira 40 weight um, little thread, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a very lightweight thread, so it's, there's nothing wrong with a bird, but a bird's not going to swim. So this stuff that I have come along and found and now is on my website, I ordered just like one spool of it. They're a supplier of some other stuff that I have, some other fibers, and I ordered just once because I was just curious. I order fibers all the time, and that's one of the ways I know a lot about fibers is I'm constantly just like, what is this? And I've been doing that for years. Just buy one and see how I like it, right? What I've got so many like random stuff. Anywho, staying on track. This stuff is amazing, and it's thicker weight. So like I said, there's nothing wrong with Madeira, but a bird's not going to swim. So this stuff is thicker. This stuff you can smock with it because it's thicker. It's sold as tatting thread, and I was so skeptical about whether it's actually going to tat well, because tatting, like, you really rub on that fiber, and I thought it's going to split all to get out, right? And it's going to be this hot mess in a hurry, and it wasn't the case at all. I was so pleasantly surprised. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was tatting with it, and I just kept going, I can't believe this stuff. Oh my God, you can actually tat with this. This is crazy. Split and do the like unravel thing, and this is crazy. Actually tats, and it's enjoyable to work with. And I used this stuff to embroider not Audrey's, my youngest daughter Daisy's, her first birthday. She's a snow baby, and so I added some little bits of snow and some little like shimmer and stuff. It's so fun to have metallic thread, that card, in your deck of hand, or in your car. I can't even get the words out. I'm so excited. In your card. How does it go? In your deck of cards. I'm excited about this, y'all. Okay, so anywho, yes, you can tat with it. It tats wonderfully, and you can hand embroider with it. I did it on Daisy's dress. It embroiders beautifully, and I've been waiting to introduce this to y'all because I did some smocking with it. It smocks great, and I've been waiting to introduce this to y'all because I thought, okay, the last test I need to put this through is whether it does a bullion stitch, and I thought if it can do a bullion stitch, that is just, it's checked all the boxes, right? And it does a bullion stitch. So it takes a little bit of getting used to and getting that bullion to look right. I mean, it's not going to be like floche. Floche makes a beautiful bullion, but it takes a little bit getting used to because like you put more wraps in it than you would normally. So when I first started this rose, I put like the usual amount of wraps I would have put if I was using flourish or something, and it didn't quite fill it in all the way. You can see there's some gaps and whatever. And so as I made the first petal, I put some more in, still a little bit loose. The second petal, I put a ton of wraps in, way more than I thought I needed, and that got me pretty much how I was happy with. So the third petal, I put even more wraps in it, and that looks really good. I think it looks like a really good bullion, and so you've got to play around with it a little bit, but it will do a wonderful bullion, and it pulls right through. You don't have any issues, and you can see the fiber by the end of doing bullion rose, you can see at the end of it, there is no fraying on it. There's no broken little bits to it. It just looks perfectly intact because it still is. It's like amazing stuff. So there's two kind of downsides to this. I just wanted you guys to be aware of. One, when you cut, like when you have a cut edge and you're trying to put it through a needle or whatever, that cut edge is going to split a little bit. So if you're somebody that, like, I didn't have any issues getting it through the needle, you can see it still goes through the needle, but it does, those fibers just at a cut edge will kind of fluff out a little bit. So if you have trouble threading needles, what you're going to have to do is just use a little threader, and that's no big deal because once it's threaded, you are good to go, and it works just it's like butter. But getting it threaded could be a little bit of a thing. Just get a little doodad, the hand threader thing, y'all know what I'm talking about, and thread up your needle that way, and that means that problem is solved. The other thing is that if it's just sitting around, the metallic thread, it doesn't want to like stay on the spool. Like if you have a spool of pearl cotton or something, it'll just mainly stay on that spool. This kind of like it kind of the first couple wraps will kind of fall, and it could be a big mess if it continues to fall. So there is this supplier does make like a little plastic container. I personally think that it's way expensive for what it is. So what I would recommend is putting this in a small Ziploc bag and then just pulling it out of the Ziploc bag as you're using it, and then that problem is solved. No big deal, and you're not having like this big mess all over your table. But this is absolutely delicious metallic thread. I have other hand embroidery videos, so go check them out over here. And yeah, if you guys are into hand embroidery, I hope you guys try this out and you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you're into tatting, definitely try it out. If you have any questions, of course, put them down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. And as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and I hope to catch y'all next time.